I'm not going anywhere. I'm not effing leaving.
I'm not going anywhere. I'm not effing leaving. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not effing leaving.
Oh boy. Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. My name is Christopher Bell. I'm a certified public accountant. I'm a long-term boglehead investor. I'm author of the book Stop Being a Broke Loser. And I'm a freaking hater of Meat Spin Kevin, also known as Meat Breath, and Jeremy LaFoo-Foo. And I got both of these clowns on one screen. Now, I'm making this video to rejoice in the utter destruction of Meat Spin Kevin's brand. Buy the tab, hold on, I'm not effing leaving, da 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 da. Woo! And then he sells his entire portfolio and pays massive capital gains. Loser! Now, his longtime butt buddy, Jeremy LaFoo-Foo, I think my camera's covering his face. You'll thank me for it. He basically went ahead and stabbed his friend in the back. I don't even know if they're friends. They might be like frenemies. Because they both compete in the same grift market. I need to get as many people as possible to buy my course so I can make as much money as possible for myself. And the first domino in the collapse of the YouTube grift industry has started with Meat Breath Kevin. And I think LaFoo-Foo may be next. We'll have to see. We need Tesla to go down first before this clown goes away. But here's LaFoo-Foo taking advantage, just like I am, but this is supposed to be his friend, taking advantage of Meat Spin's decline and making a video criticizing him. So we're going to watch some of this video, and then we're going to watch how Jeremy tries to turn it into, I'm the wiser one, and you should sign up for me instead. Woo! Should have worn my LaFoo-Foo hat. It's over there on my big teddy bear. So let's watch. We're going to watch at, let's try 1.5 speed, or 1.25. I can't watch the whole freaking video that he puts out. 22 minutes? God.
Folks, I think we've all seen it. If you follow me, Kevin, 238,000 people have seen it so far. He sold out of everything, sold out of all his stocks, sold out of cryptos, and has even went short the market now, he says. And I have gotten literally hundreds of comments in the past 24 to 48 hours on my opinion on Kevin's move here. Like, I can't even explain how many comments I have about this. And the reason being is Kevin is one of the 4 amigos on Millennial Money, right? And so being that he's one of the 4 people on Millennial Money and a lot of folks watch Kevin's channel, also watch my channel, everybody is looking at this and like, Jeremy, what are you going to say about this? Or do you agree with him? Do you disagree with him? Are you going to sell out of your stocks? Are you planning on making a move like this? And so, yeah, nonetheless, we got a lot to talk about in this video here today.
Okay, Jeremy is going to take the exact opposite stance. Of course he is. They compete for people to sign up for their grift courses. This is really bad for Meat Breath, okay? But he can stand to benefit as long as he plays it right.
Guys, because this is an action-packed one. This is a crazy one, okay? So, first off, Kevin is getting massive hate, and I'm not just talking about from random people. I'm talking about from his audience. You know, I don't know if I've ever seen it in the finance space where, you know, we've gotten something like this, and people are pissed, okay? I would describe it as that. Like, you know, as a YouTuber, right? As a YouTuber, you're always going to get a certain amount of hate or negative comments or people that watch your channel who don't like you and those sorts of things and say mean stuff. And that's going to happen, right? But the thing is, that's usually a very, very small amount. If you go through Kevin's, comment section on that video, it is a disaster. It is like almost every single...
And you know, Jeremy was sitting there just... fingering his butthole. Oh yeah, oh my business is gonna survive. Oh my God, I was losing so much money in ad revenue. I need this. Woo! He is so happy about this. His friend. He is just tickled pink.
Comment is like negative. And people are, very despising of Kevin right now. And I think if Kevin was realistic, with himself, which I think he is, I think he understands like he deserves the hate right now, right? Because
he's always deserved the hate. I've been talking about these freaking losers on Millennial Money, with the exception of Graham Stephan. He's borderline. The rest of these guys are total morons. They will destroy your future if you give them your money, if you listen to them. I've been hating on freaking Meat Breath forever. However, now this opportunist is jumping in and dumping on his friend. But he's not doing it because he's being honest. It's because he wants money. Because his ad revenue's going down. He's been complaining about it. His freaking stocks have gone down 50, 60, 70%. His business is undoubtedly slowing down because we're out of that stupid grift market. This guy needed this. And he's probably sleeping like a baby right now. Just celebrating Meat Breath getting annihilated. But just because he's attacking Meat Breath here doesn't mean he's a good guy. He's not. He's a freaking scumbag.
Kevin's built his brand off of, if people sell stocks, he says they're weenie babies, right? And that's like his thing. And then he says, he made a video last week about Bill Ackman shorting the market and how Bill Ackman's so evil and all these sorts of things, right? Which got a crazy amount of views. And so Kevin's gone out there and he's attacked and made, called people names that sell stocks and then, made people that short stocks look really bad. And then Kevin goes from, being very bullish buying the dip to all of a sudden in a matter of 24, 48 hours to selling everything and then shorting the market. That's a whole different situation. So nonetheless, people feel like they got backstabbed in a situation, right? Where it's like, really, you're just going to make a move like this. And so, I wish Kevin would have spoke to me about this, before he had done it, because I would have told him, dude, you got to realize like how bad this makes you look in this situation. And
see, I'm the cooler head, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jeremy. You should have just listened to me, Kevin. Yeah, Jeremy. I'm sure Jeremy would have given Meat Breath Kevin great advice. Yeah, keep holding on to your garbage, overvalued, highly speculative stocks, Meat Breath. Yeah, maybe he did make the right decision to sell. I don't know. The funny thing is, or the hypocrisy is not that he sold, it's that he claimed he would never sell, and then he did. Loser.
If Kevin had just,
Seeking Alpha presents the top stocks of 2021.
2022, who cares?
Maybe cashed out of some positions, right? And let's say went a little more cash heavy. I think he would have gotten a little bit of hate for that, but it wouldn't have been that much. It would have been like, okay, that's kind of weird. You were buying all these stocks, and all of a sudden you sold a bunch of them. But if he still held certain stocks, it was like, okay, give him a pass, right? But when you sell all your stocks, that's a whole different thing, especially when you were, talking about how you were bullish and you were buying and all those sorts of things, to all of a sudden sell everything all like overnight. And people are like, what? And then the shorting part, or going negative on the market, making bets that the market's going to go down, that is the last kind of lever, to make people go really, really mad at you. And so Kevin is getting crazy hate right now, and I think Kevin would be honest and just say he deserves the hate right now because, yeah, you can't build your brand off of certain things and then do that. That'd be like me all of a sudden being like, I'm a day trader now, guys. I'm day trading stocks. Here's the candles, and it's like, no, okay, you don't do that. Okay, so that's the first part I wanted to bring up here. Okay, second.
Okay, so this is him, whatever. Going a little bit more about Meat Breath. Now, let's move forward and see how LaFufu tries to twist it to make him seem like, oh, but I'm the true wise man, and I'm going to tell you why. Let's watch this amazing analysis, okay? Now, the funny thing is, I think, what is this? This is the S&P 500. LaFufu brings up a chart of the S&P 500, and he circles all the dips. But as you can see in the long run, the S&P 500, which basically represents 80% of the investable tradable stocks, market by market cap in the United States stock market, has gone up since 1990. Wow, it's almost like stocks generally go up as wealth and productivity and technology improve in a country. I can't freaking believe that. But here he's going to try to manipulate it and say, well, since the S&P 500 had gone up and you had bought the dips, you could do the same thing with my stocks. There's a huge difference, okay? Individual stocks can and do go to zero all the freaking time. As a matter of fact, the vast majority of stocks that are ever listed eventually fall off the index because they go freaking bankrupt. Most companies don't last forever. It's the index itself that lasts forever. Two entirely different things. But let's see LaFufu talk here.
Since my life began in 1989, every single buy the dip is an opportunity to buy the dang dip and make a lot of money, right? This is S&P 500 over time. It doesn't matter. All these dips along the way, you buy them. And even if you're in a downward process, you buy. I know I was on Millennial Money recently, and Graham's like, well, what if, this stock, Tattooed Chef, Honest, they go down over the coming years, right? I'll just keep buying them, right? If they go down over the coming months, coming years, I'll just keep buying them. As long as I'm confident in where their business model is going over the next 3-5 years, it doesn't matter to me what happens in the stock price in the short term. I'll just keep buying.
That's a horrible connection. You cannot compare buying the dip on a broadly diversified index to buying a massively unprofitable tattoo trucker's taint freaking company, okay? That's where he's trying to grift there. Now, let's go a little bit forward, and he actually highlights one of his coaches who I actually want to talk about him a little bit.
To command in 3 years from now or 5 years from now, okay? So you got to take advantage of these. No, I got a friend named Brian, and Brian it really gets much more into the technicals and those sorts of things than I do. Brian's one of the investors I respect the most in the market in terms of especially anything shorter term and kind of his thoughts, out there and things like that. And when it comes to Brian, he's somebody that I talk with, and as a lot of these stocks are going down, I'm like, dude, how are you not buying? How are you not loading the boat in this stock or this stock? And he's kind of been like, I'm not looking to get really in the market till March, April. That's what he says, right? He's like, in March, April, I'll start deploying more money, and especially if ... lines up. But he hasn't been, flushing money out there in respect, because if he had been flushing a ton of money out there, he would be down, a lot of these positions. So he's kind of stayed on the sideline. So it's one thing to say, I'm going to be a little more cash heavy right now, versus I'm going to sell out all my stocks and go 100% cash, or dare I even say short the market, right? Those are...
Now, the reason I wanted to bring up Brian is that little loser subscribed to my channel. He tracks me, okay? But as you can see, he's another freaking degenerate. I don't know if I guess he's a coach. I think he's a coach. He's a coach for Jeremy LaFufu. And as you can see, the guy's a freaking trader, just like, day trader. Probably a trader to your portfolio, too. Just like all these other freaking losers, okay? None of these guys know what they're freaking doing, okay? They buy in and out of stocks. They pay massive freaking taxes. They compare buying the dip to the S&P 500, or the world market, to tattoo truckers' taint. It's freaking ridiculous, okay? How can you look up to these total losers? I don't understand. I cannot wait for this man to fall. I cannot wait for him to make a massive mistake so I can freaking blast him and be proven right, just like I was with Meat Breath.
Really two huge differences there. And so, even there's certain times in the market I go cash heavy. I can tell you right now is not one of those times. I am deploying money left and right in these.
And every time he does that, he pays massive capital gains, which severely reduces your returns.
Stocks, because I believe I'm buying extremely cheap stocks for the next 3, 5, 7 years. But there's certain times in the market where I go much more cash heavy, right? And that's just when I feel like, man, I can't really find many good deals out there. And so that's kind of one thought process. But yeah, to sell everything is definitely a different process. The next thing we got to talk about is the NASDAQ started out the year horrible, right? The NASDAQ's down 12% year to date. It doesn't mean it can't get worse.
All right, let's see if he has anything else insightful to say. Oh, the NASDAQ went down. I wonder if, here he is talking to us at the end of the video, showing us his taint portfolio.
Thanks, okay? And so I want to kind of get my point. By the way, make sure you check out the pinned comment down there for 5 free stocks valued up to $3,500. Next 5 years, I think I'm getting great pricing on the stock, beyond great pricing. I don't want to call it easy money, because I never want to call a company who's technically losing money on the bottom line. I don't want to call them easy money, but I think I'm going to make some pretty...
They're just technically losing money. All my companies are massively technically losing money, but it doesn't matter, bro, because somehow I know Tattoo Taint is going to be massively better in 5 years, even though there's no positive freaking trends with their financials, besides revenue growth, man. They're highly concentrated in 3 vendors. Yeah, that's a little risky there, just saying. But that's the same as buying the dip on the S&P 500.
Stupid money on that stock over the next 5 years. Honest is at $5 a share. It's ridiculous, okay? Absolutely ridiculous. It's at a price to sales ratio of 2 now. And, based upon where I think that company's going, that one might even have more upside over the next 5 years than the chef does.
Why would you risk your portfolio on those stocks? Why? Why would you risk your future on stocks like this? Don't freaking do it, okay? You can speculate with them with a small part of your portfolio, but don't be like this freaking loser here, okay? The sad thing is that it's going to take, you have to wait 5, 6, 7 years to see what actually happens with these companies. That's why he can keep his grift going on a lot longer than Meat Breath can, unless he makes a mistake, or unless Tesla goes, but we'll see. God, I hate that stock. It just only goes up.
Okay, and so I look at those 2 stocks, I'm saying, if it goes down more, if the chef goes down from 12 to 9, and Honest goes from 5 to 4.3, I'll just keep buying. I'm not going to sell out of those stocks for them to all of a sudden start bouncing, and Honest is all of a sudden at 7, 8, 9, 10, or chef all of a sudden goes back to 14, 16, 18, 20.
And you know what I also don't understand? It's like you already have $1 million in some of these stocks, cost basis. Why not go look for other opportunities? Why do you have to keep specifically just dumping more and more and more and more and more into these few stocks? There's other stocks out there that could probably give you just as good as a return, if you're going to get a return at all. Why would you keep dumping them into these stocks? This guy's a moron. He's a freaking loser, okay? He's next to fall. Oh, please. Please. Anyway, that's it. Enough LaFufu. Stabbed his little Meat Breath friend in the back, hoping people, pay attention to him instead. That's what he wants. He's freaking loving what's going on with Meat Breath right now. But that's just the nature of YouTube. It's a massive competition for who can grift the most money out of their fans. Like, subscribe, tell your friends about me. Y'all have a wonderful night. Chew!